Welcome back. So this segment is dedicated to the celebration of one of our national jewels, and I'm talking about Professor Wole Soyinka. So what's your favorite Soyinka play from when you were in secondary school? Was it The Trials of Brother Jero, or was it Death and the King's Horseman? And what's your favorite line from your favorite poem written by the Nobel laureate himself, Professor Soyinka? Let us know in your conversations. But there's been quite a flurry of activities held this July in honor of our Nobel laureate. And joining us to talk about some of those activities, we have Mr. Cash Onodele Ayekoto, who is a Yoruba storyteller and playwright and poet, who joins us here in our Lagos studio. Good morning and welcome to the program, sir.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
And we also have joining us Mr. Seyi Fashui, who is an actor and the lead actor in the Noble Warrior Eni Ogun, the play held this year to honor Professor Soyinka. So good morning and welcome, gentlemen, to the program.
Thank you.
I mean, it seems an ideal place to start. A lot has been said about this generation and how perhaps they're not quite acquainted with the magnitude of the stardom that Professor Soyinka brings on, and his contributions also to national development. So help us understand, and it could also be a form of education, for them about the virtues from this play, that celebrates, Professor Soyinka as a national jewel.
I'm going to start it with a paraphrase from Professor Wole Soyinka. He once said, "Every soul has a shell." I had to distill this in order to understand that the simple statement is actually very complex, and that underlines and answers your question. Where is the soul born? Which milieu is it born? That talks to our identity, right? When you think of what shapes the soul, that talks to our culture. When you talk about what stirs the soul, that talks about our relationship, our passions, right? Romance, love, hate, family, talks about all of that. And when you think about what does this soul leave behind before it exits, that talks about heritage. Those are the things a global icon and an ambassador of culture like Professor Wole Soyinka, that is what he stands for.
Quite a lot to chew on there. I wonder if you have any reactions to that as well, sir.
Yes, as sage, Wole Soyinka is a national icon, particularly in the cultural sector. Of course, it's also very relevant in the political structure of the country itself. He's a crusader, as a poet. He's someone that has contributed meaningfully to the development of arts and culture, and in fact, the country itself. So celebrating him, definitely, it's something it's an honor, actually, to be 90. We all pray to be 90, and still living and still agile, moving around the entire continent. And he's also the Nobel laureate. So what he has contributed thus far, it's something that needs to be emulated, by the younger ones, read through it and know how passionate he was, even up to now, in terms of contributing to arts and culture and development of the country itself.
Absolutely. And arts and culture is quite vast, really. And if there's any mining ground for it globally, I think we have it in large measure. Whether or not we've been able to translate that into, bettering our image, creative economy, and all of that, it's another conversation entirely. But we're trying to have this one around, thespians, stage play, the craft of it, patronage or otherwise, because it's one sector that a lot of work goes into it. But you tell us, what do you get from it? So we want to talk about the state of stage performance in Nigeria today, as at today. The venues, I know money will still be the major part of it, but don't let me preempt you. Speak to us about the current state. If you could put this in a sentence, how would you describe it?
A sentence, that'll be a mouthful. As the producer of the Noble Warrior, which is my current experience, because I I wrote the play and I'm also the producer. Top issues, simple sentence to summarize it: we need a renaissance of theater. Just for a statement.
So I'm trying to digest it. Because I mean, look at Broadway, for example.
Yes.
And you see how much a ticket costs.
Yes.
But you come here and you are begging people to purchase tickets for
we're begging people to fund us. We're begging people to take little pays to act, and we're begging people to pay little just to come through the doors. We are in need of renaissance. Our industry is in need of renaissance.
What would that renaissance look like? Particularly for those who are saying, I don't even know what the word renaissance means. Talk more what it means for this sector. So let's just have a conversation. What would it take? And from you to him.
Okay, do you want to start with the experience of actors? Well, I mean, but I can start from the big picture.
Broad view. Okay, we can trickle down.
We need a new setting. We need to reset. We need. I know everything. Sometimes it sounds like we're asking too much when we say government involvement, but we need the leadership of government. We need opportunities that create inflows from like organizations like FXIM, who are saying, yes, we want to fund the creative sector. We need a lot of collaboration with CBAC. We're lucky to have endorsement on our own program, but we need funding and organization and collaboration with actors, thespians, dancers, a whole retinue of people who wish to be in this industry, but are not actually getting funded. And we need the corporate world. I mean, we're lucky. We had about 6 corporate supporters of this in particular project. But that's not even up to half of what we need to get there. We need some angel investors like Synctos and all sorts of angel investors who want to come into the industry, help to mature the industry. You mentioned venues. You cannot go Lagos and Abuja, maybe. I think I was talking to Edo State, and they said they are trying to build something new. I am not sure any other state is coming up with a 1,500, 2,000 seater theater, which is modern, which is easily seen. Like you said, Broadway is a whole street in New York of theaters. We need something like that. One whole street theaters, and we can tap in. Nigerians are very creative.
Absolutely.
But we're not tapping into it.
And that tickles the imagination.
I think he wanted to speak as an actor. You are right in the middle of it, so.
Yes, actually, I will term us like endangered species. Strangely so, because from where we're coming from, I've been in the field close to about 4 decades now.
4 decades?
Yeah, so senator, in a way. So over time, we've seen how things started when there was no home video. Stage was the in thing then. Go to the National Theatre, see the Larry Jones moving around. So that was the in thing. Market Square were storytellers. Along the way, the home video emerged, and it took over everything, because why? People can relax in their homes. And now, instead of coming to the venue to go on transport and so many things, security and go, they can relax in their home and just watch home video. And then there's the laxity to come to venues and go. So it impacted also in terms of audience participation, in terms of sponsorship, in terms of venue, in terms of, and which trickled down to also payments in terms of artists that go to. Now, I can say there is a resurgence, to be fair. It needs more intervention. We see more producers, more people coming in. I mean, this year, for instance, now we've been busy throughout the year, January, February, March, up to now. So actually, there is a resurgence. However, we need more intervention, particularly from the government side, in terms of funding and collaborations. As this mentioned, there are some banks, for instance, now there should be such intervention also from those agencies into the theatre and the theatre world. So it's something that has to be a collaboration, even from the private sector too. We need everybody to key in, because in reality, that is where you see the most professionals. no no stop, no cuts, no anything. Just if you get on stage, is there, you get to face anything,
It's
live.
raw, and
It's raw. So you must be at your A game. So I mean, that's why something is putting up now. The Nobel Warrior and Yogun is something unique to celebrate our Nobel laureates, and it's unique. It's fresh, actually. It's new. We see live performances, live it's called music. The guitar, the piano, the trumpet, live band actually playing alongside the actors and actresses. We see a medley, music, dance, drama, all rolled into one. Actually, it's fresh. It's new. Not been seen before. I can tell you that. So
and we're going to see you.
Yeah, of course. I'm the lead character.
We just saw you. We just saw a snippet of you.
Yeah. You see me. But not like my character, but he's a bad guy. He created a bad guy.
So, Mr. Fashi, as the bad guy in all of this, you're an actor, which means, I like the fact you said 4 decades, right? Over 40 years in this business. So you know what it means to be an actor. Now I would want to ask, for anyone watching right now who thinks, stage play, most people just act movies, and some people can act in 3 days, the movie is out, and you're wondering what kind of work went into this movie? What story are you trying to tell? And I mean, I don't know if we're getting it right in that sector in Nollywood, but as a stage performer, what does it take to be a stage drama performer?
Wow, that's a huge question. To start with, you can be trained formally in terms of going to the university. I went to University of Ilorin. I was lucky to be trained by the late Professor Mrs. Julie Shofola, Professor of Ilorin. So we went to, as a thespian. Then you can also train under some professional houses, people who have gathered experiences over the years, and grown their arts, to a particular level. Now, then the professional level is more deeper, because you have to dig in, you have to gather enough of experience by plays, by a lot of training comes to fore, and your intuition as an artist too. So it's deep, but as I said, generally in the world, you need to add value to what you're doing. You need to understand what you're doing, because each project, each play comes with its own challenges, its own kind of role, its own kind of vision, and you are communicating to the audience. You want them to listen to you. You want them to understand you. You are an educator. You are codifying history. It's a didactic process. So it's a whole lot you are dealing with. So when you're on stage, it's alive. No cuts, no edits, as I said before. The creative industry has come to stay in terms of the videos and the films and as I mentioned also too. It's also getting better. Not as it was before, when they're just shooting with only one camera and just say cut and shoot. It's getting better. People coming around from the abroad also too, also interjecting too into the field too. So the stage drama, it's where you put in your A game. It's live. And you need to be at top notch to be able to perform wonderfully, as an educator.
If I can add to that, to buttress what you said, what went into this? This is a 40-character play, and it took taking everybody to a camp where they rehearse non-stop, continually. Let me say non-stop, continually. For 30 days, a camp. And each of them came with experiences, like you said, and on top of that, the artistic director had to guide them through being here. And it takes a lot. It takes a whole lot.
And I'd just like to stay with that for a bit, because I remember when you were talking earlier, you talked about the need for a renaissance.
Yes.
And, earlier on, I recall that there was an artist village at the National Theatre. I don't know if it's still there, where actors, thespians converged, for stage plays, for rehearsals. It was basically a training entrepot of some sorts for artists. And you would know, having been in the, business, in the field for 4 decades. And there was also that melting point for poets, the Committee for Relevant Arts, where they, converged, for a poetry festival. I wonder if we still have that, is that ground still thriving for, the building of the convergence of Nigeria's culture and arts, the celebration of it, the festival of it? And if it's not there anymore, what are we missing, by that convergence? Particularly because your play has gotten the support of, sponsors. So what are we missing in Nigeria's theatre industry? I'd like you to speak to that.
Wow. I know the place very well. I will not mince word when I say it's dead. Sincerely. It's
the artist village.
Yeah, it's still there. As in some you see some remnants of people, but the real value is not there again in terms of it's a government owned institution, which is the National Council for Arts and Culture, which is also in the in terms of the space of national theatre. There's national theatre. There's a big renaissance going on there. That's been rebuilt, been repackaged. I'm sure very soon now it will open up to large followership. So it has not trickled down to the NCAC we mentioned, the artist village we mentioned. Actually, we hope in the long run, because now there's also a train station there. There's nuns there. So the value system that is supposed to be in that ensemble, which is where the poets, the musicians, the actors, they reside actually in that place. There's a small spaces there that we can also perform to. Over time, because of government policies, I think there's an attempt to pull that place down, which it's not been right with the artists generally. I've been there, I've seen it. So I think in reality we need more intervention that people from government, particularly to create sort of spaces so that people will have an ensemble and a good setting to be creative, because we are visionaries. We are visionaries, and being visionaries, you speak about the country, about the people, about the culture, and you must know where you're coming from to know where you're going to. So a country bereft of culture and arts and culture, it's going nowhere. Now, so as we said, we need more of such spaces to thrive. Right. We need government to come in. We need also corporate agencies to also step into. The National Theatre used to be something like that, Abegi, and in fact, all the surrounding places in terms of the structure itself used to be every corner, the entrances, people are playing, people are dancing, to the whole thing. But when commercialization came in, they were all ejected of that space. So I think that particular place mentioned Artist Village needs a serious thought by the federal government to go in there and make that place a better space.
There you go. Yeah. So, I mean, this is declare state of emergency for food, education. Maybe we should declare state of emergency for this sector as well.
Yes.
And that's not just saying it by saying it's a big deal. So let's wind down with this. We say that there's lots of potentials, and you're trying to push some of them out. You are also a Yoruba storyteller. So you're basically tapping into the culture and telling the story, presenting it, to the people out there. I don't know what the reception has been, but I know that gradually we're seeing even, big companies from out there coming in to tap stories from here. So I think that speaks to that. But let's be practical, really. And investors are listening. People that have money just sitting somewhere, they're listening. And I think
I hope so.
No, they are actually, because there's always money to invest. The question is, where will they invest the money into, and they will get return. So if we were to maybe do like an elevator pitch, except that this is like a morning brief pitch, what are the viable areas, the value chains that you have seen that we can maybe tap into and get good returns for Nigeria's Broadway?
I think first, a play like this, right? Where
am I not surprised?
Okay, no, but seriously, we are losing our identity. Our identity is being eroded, our culture and our heritage on a daily basis. Our children are on TikTok, social media. They are not learning about who they are. And it means if you don't know enough about who you are, you're going to get lost. There was a time someone called me and told me all Nigerian youth are Malians and all that. But everybody always compares with the past. It was never like that in the past. But if we do not sow the heritage into them, they're never going to They don't know anything about the Orishas in Yoruba land.
So can a movie on Orishas a stage production on Orishas, can it make ₦1 billion, for example?
You can make more than that, because it's about how you package this, right? Whether you package it on the stage and you're able to do a road show in 20 cities, I mean, you're going to make this. They are curious. It's not that they're not curious, but where are the stories? They're not hearing these stories. I have on my desk right now 2 main stories about the beginning, our own Genesis, not the biblical Genesis, Akoni Ogun, and I have another one, which is what happened at Koso, Shango Koso. But the question is this, who is going to sponsor this?
I remember that.
How do we package this, right? So these are interesting stories that if they learn it, they will definitely come around it. And who is coming around it faster than our children? Cuba, Brazil, Portugal. I mean, really, if we can package this right, with the right support, with the right finance in the business, we can take these stories and our children can learn their heritage. They can, I mean, one of the things I did in this play was I made the naive, beautiful woman kept telling everybody, I am the daughter of Oluwabi, right?
That's from Omoluabi.
Omoluabi, right? So that she's trying to make a statement. I know who I am. But many of this generation, we are not helping them to understand who they are. If we have this kind of plays run 2.5 years on Broadway, right? If they are of the opportunity, families can go together to theaters. Well, now the new one is called Wole Soyinka Center. So hopefully that means it's coming closer to us as artists in the business. We can start. I mean, I'm sure there are many people who have tales from their grandfathers never listened. That was why I moved away from being a general storyteller to a Yoruba storyteller.
Right. You know, and that speaks the potential of that Nigerian Broadway, you know, the renaissance at the National Theatre that we hope to see if we have more visionaries. We're totally out of time. Just very quickly, is the play still showing The Noble Warrior, a tribute to Professor Wole Soyinka?
Yes, this tribute to Professor Wole Soyinka is still showing in Muson Center, 20th and 21st. Right, of this month.
July.
Yes, in 2 days' time and 3 days' time, Saturday and Sunday. We got 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. shows.
And it's a complete ensemble of song, dance,
you're
drama.
Gonna love it.
All right.
Absolutely love it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Seyi Fasuyi, actor and lead actor in The Noble Warrior, Eni Ogun. And we've also had Mr. Cash Onodele, Ayekuto, Yoruba storyteller, playwright and poet. Ayekuto, by the way, means?
Ayekuto. The world rejects
the truth,
and accepts untruth.
Yeah, something to reflect on. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time on the program.
Thank you so much.
And we switch gears now to Friday Fitness. So join us. You don't want to miss out on this. We'll be right back.